Hello everyone, K-Kim here from the Traders Club, TwoTradersClub.com. Hope you guys are enjoying your week. Today is February 13th. It's around 1 o'clock here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Valentine's Day weekend. And I hope you guys are spending your time with your family and your loved one. I wanted to do a quick video. I promise it's not going to be long. But I do want to talk about the importance of bullish reversal, right? So let's just kind of go back. Currently we're looking at 2008 chart right here. You can see 2008. We are looking at S&P 500 index itself, and you know, a lot of times you will see this, and we're looking at much a bigger scale here, and obviously, but you can see last time what happened in 2008 October, actually, we're starting to create lower lows and lower highs. What does that mean? That we're still in a bearish downtrend in the minor to intermediate term there, looking at this potential, or at least this particular time frame, right? But what we're seeing on the MACD here, what we're seeing, let me just grab this, try to make the MACD bigger. Where is the, there you go. Okay, so we're currently looking at MACD right about here, and well, in this whole bottom section of your chart, of your screen that you're looking at, what we're seeing is that while the price action starts to cultivate lower lows and lower highs, what we're seeing is MACD start to cultivate what? Higher lows and higher highs. What does that mean? Why are we seeing divergence? Why are we seeing discrepancies? Why are we seeing two different movement here when the price action is, you know, cultivating lower lows while the MACD is, you know, cultivating higher lows? This is what we call a bullish divergence, right? So when the bullish divergence forms, a lot of people do not understand. Basically, what he's saying is there's certain, first of all, what he's saying is bears are getting tired. They are going to push though, right? They're going to push because they don't want this journey to end, but they are getting tired. And another signal is that the buyers, the bulls, are starting to see this, that the bears are getting tired. So then there are certain clandestine buyers starting to kind of creep in. I mean, they're clandestine. They're you know what I mean? They're coming in slowly. They're seeing what is gonna happen. I mean, is the bears finally gonna give up? You know, so they're starting to buy it slowly, right? Not too prominently, but just because they're still fearful. They don't know for sure how it's gonna play out. So that's kind of why you're starting to see that, you know, MACD forming, cultivating higher lows and higher highs. Well, the you know, the price action is cultivating actually lower lows and lower highs. So this occurs when, you know, in technical terms, when it is starting to observe that there might be potentially a bottom coming. It doesn't always happen. It's not the holy grail. It's not 100% guarantee. Nothing is in the market. But when you start to see this kind of formation happening, what you want to see is you want to kind of pay attention. And obviously something that I've been talking a lot about is a confirmation is key. So what is a confirmation before you see that this thing reversing? Well, looking at this here, you can see that first thing you want to look for after forming the bullish divergence is that you want to see this thing at least cultivating equal highs. What is a definition of a downtrend? Definition of the downtrend is lower lows and lower highs. This doesn't feel like a lower high, does it? That actually feels like what I call equal highs, right? This high and this high is definitely equal, right? So that's you can also say that's a resistance level, right? So then once we see the equal high, next step would be then you want to see it cultivate higher low. Because again, what is the definition of the downtrend? Is a lower lows and lower high. Definition of the uptrend, it would be higher lows and higher highs. So for the first time, you see that we have cultivated lower low. For this to continue, you know, continuing a downtrend, then you would want to see a lower low or lower high and lower low like this. But remember what we just talked about, it has created what? Equal highs. And you pay attention, are we gonna, so now that we have created equal high, are we gonna create higher low? We kind of did that right here, right? That's a higher low there. And then we created what? A higher high. So this is where I would say initial confirmation that started with that bullish divergence pattern. Again, I've seen these divergence patterns fail. So again, I just explained to you what it means, what it looks like when you see an initial confirmation. So that's what you want to look for, right? Equal high, that's the first step. And then you want to see a higher low and creating that higher high. So then now if you just kind of pay attention to this, what do we have going? We have low, high, higher high. That could be the first step or the first cultivation of intermediate term down uptrend, right after this downtrend there. So let's look at another example here. This was back in what, 2010 June and July. You can see that we have lower highs going on and a lower lows, right? But what we see is that pretty similar to what we just saw. You got this lower lows while we're seeing cultivation of what? Higher lows, right? Divergence. That's what we call bullish divergence, right? That's there and that's here. Bullish divergence. But remember, remember we just talked about the confirmation is the key. So what do we need to see for a confirmation? For this to stop cultivating lower lows and lower highs, we first need to see what? Equal highs, right? That certainly looks like equal highs. And then when this thing go up, comes down, we want to see a higher low. Remember, downtrend is lower lows and lower high. Uptrend is higher lows and higher high. If this thing would have continued lower and created lower low, we would categorize this equal highs as intermediate term lower high. So we'll say this is high, and then lower low. That's what we have to. We can't just assume just because we have cultivated equal highs, we can't just assume that now that we have an equal high, we're just gonna roll. We're just gonna create a higher low, and then it's just gonna continue. We can't assume that because I've seen where it will create what it looks like a equal highs, and then it just makes it lower low. Then what we have to do, we have to categorize these two highs as just one kind of a big lower high. Does that make sense? So what we want to see, not only we want to see equal highs. Obviously, that started with the bullish divergence. So when you see a bullish divergence, you pay attention, but don't get into a conclusion or presume upon the market that we're just going to reverse. What you want to see next will be that higher low. So you got that higher low. And it's very elementary. You got to go back to elementary when you're looking at this lows and highs. Obviously, this low is definitely higher than that low. That's all it takes. You don't have to think too much about it. You don't have to be so sophisticated to understand these lows and highs. Just go back to elementary, principle where that low is higher than this low. Can we agree on that? Yeah. And then once we created that higher high right here, that's when we can say we have that confirmation of a reversal, right? So we got the low, we got the high, higher high, and that was when the market back in 2010, after this, kind of a pullback or correction there, we saw that reversal there. But that all started with bullish divergence. But again, just because there's a bullish divergence, we can't just jump on the wagon and say, hey, we're going to reverse. You have to make sure the price action substantiating whatever signal we just got, because again, these signals can fail. Let's go back here. This was back in 2011. We threw the head and shoulder formation, right? Neckline was broken, and then we saw that correction. But what we got going on is we got the high, lower high, low, lower low, right? Which again, is this low lower than this low? Yes. So that's what we call lower low. But what is a MACD telling us? Well, MACD gave us another bullish divergence. You see that, right? So that's a bullish divergence. So what is the first thing we need to look for? Well, equal highs. Well, this time, instead of giving us the equal highs, the price action actually gave us a higher high, which is actually a better signal for the buyers. So this time, instead of giving us, because usually, because the last two examples we just looked at, you would want to see something like this, giving us the equal high, pull back, create a higher low, and then go. But this time, what it did was, it actually got up and created a higher high. That actually gives more edge to the buyers, right? So then now we just don't even have to worry about equal highs. Now we got right away, we got the higher high, which is a good sign. But again, that's not enough. We need what? Higher low. We got that. and then we got up, and then we created this, where this is where things got a little bit confusing, right here. This is where things got confused. This is where everybody's confused. Well, okay, we have this resistance going on here. We got the lower high and another lower high. Can you agree that these are lower highs? Yes. But can we also agree that this is also higher high? Yes. Can we also agree that this is higher low? Yes. So we got higher lows, higher highs, but then we got lower highs and higher lows. So we got a pressure coming down and pressure going up. Kind of like almost like a triangle pattern, if you will, you know, but we have the pressure in both ways. So who's going to win? So this is a time where I'm just going to try to make it more realistic. Here, this is a time where because of we have higher high has formed, intermediate term speaking, we could say that it's neutral. Kind of a minor term speaking, because we have a lower high though, that might be perceived as bearish, but then we also have a higher low going. So we'd all talk, well, in like a minor term, I mean, this is bearish right here, but the minor to intermediate term, we would also have to say that this is neutral in the minor to intermediate term. Primary term is concerned, I do think that benefit of doubt goes to buyers for the fact that primary term meaning looking at this whole thing right here, right? We got the low, higher low. We're still fizzling around in the higher low vicinity. So we're still kind of in this level where there's a lot of fears going on in the market. You know, people think that we could still get that flush. We could still have this huge, you know, bearish, pressure where we could see much steeper decline, right? But again, let's not think too deep about it. Let's just continue with our elementary principle where this low is definitely higher than this low. Look again, primary term speaking. So when we're seeing, you know, kind of a mixed signal like this, sometimes it's kind of good to wait and see what the market does. And so once we clear this level right here, and we have a minor term high, this is it. This is where now buyers are starting to get a lot of confidence. And once we clear this resistance, boom, this is it. This is right here, a reversal, full confirmation of a reversal. We got the higher lows and higher highs, right? I mean, there's some, volatility, there's some mixed signals, but then it come to a conclusion that the buyers have won after. But it all started with the bullish divergence, right? Okay, I already spent 13 minutes, so let's kind of go with today's price action, right? So what we got right now going on is, if we go to line chart, you can distinctively see this low, and this low is definitely see that. Can we definitely see that, this low is lower than this low? We can definitely see that, right? So we got the lower low, but we have a cultivation of high low. And obviously the size of this bullish divergence is not as big as the one we've looked at in the past, but the sentiment is similar. Okay? So remember what we just talked about, right? So we have the signal on the S&P 500 today. We have bullish divergence. We got lower low, but we got higher low cultivating on MACD. But the price action still needs to do what? We still need to see either equal highs or higher high and something like that for this to at least come back to about 2080 level. But at least, because again, we are still in a lower high, lower low. What does that mean? We're still in this stage of downtrend because of lower highs. So first things first, what the buyers need to do, if they want to make something out of this bullish divergence, it needs to go up, create that equal highs, and that will be a first step. But again, it needs to create higher low and then boom, right? Or is it going to happen like it happened in 2011, where it just goes up, creates a higher high, which will give buyers more edge, more advantage, and then come down and create a higher low, and then do something like that, possibly even getting back up here. Again, we can't just presume upon the market right now without the substantiation from the price action. We do have bullish divergence, but we don't have a price action to confirm that. So I mean that process could take another, month or so, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Because I mean, if this thing started going up, coming down, and fizzle around a little bit here, I mean, for this to confirm, it could take up to a month or even more. Again, if we just go straight up from here and then creates a higher high, that would give much more strength to the buyer's presence, and then we'll come down, creates a higher low, and then do something like that, and possibly even getting back up here. Some of these level is going to act as resistance. So I mean, if this thing decides to go straight up and break above this lower high, then I mean, next level will probably start with about 2,000 level. And again, what we need to see is a cultivation. We need that pullback and then create that higher low. And then we start to cultivate higher lows and higher highs. Then possibly, we could see a cultivation of a downward uptrend, inaugural movement of an uptrend. But again, we need that substantiation from the price action. I didn't mean to spend like 16 minutes. I already spent 60 minutes here. Let me just look at Apple real quick, because we do have bullish divergence on Apple. But this is just really grindy bullish divergence. It's not as clean as what we saw in S&P 500 here. Again, looking at more of a minor term, you can see we have this kind of grindy, lower highs here, right? And then MACD is just grinding to just moving higher. You can see that, but it's not clean. So when you're not dealing with the clean bullish divergence, the potency of it is actually diminishes. So you can see, when we go back to S&P 500, we have clean lower high. You can see boom, boom. It's a good bump. You see that, right? It's a clean lower high, lower low with clean higher low on MACD. Well, Apple do not have that in a sense where it's clean. It's just kind of a messy, and MACD is just been grinding. But nevertheless, there's some sentiment of it. If we go to 65-minute chart though, I think there's a little bit more potency that we can see. You can see we've been having bullish divergence here. It's, more, but you can see right there. So if I just go something like this, there is certain bullish divergence in action, right? So I'll just do this quickly and I'll end this video. So what we want to see as a price, as far as the confirmation is concerned, obviously this is the neckline right here. We want to see either creating equal highs and pulling back and then doing something like that, or it's going back up, creating higher high, maybe going back to this resistance level. That's actually strong pivot right here. It was strong support here, strong resistance here, and then pull back and then creates a higher low, and possibly then it can get back up here. Again, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I still need to see, but I think if we can able to do something like this, next 3 to 4 weeks, or maybe even something like that, and pull back a little bit, then I think there's a good chance we'll get up to about 110. And if we continue to cultivate, there's a good chance we can even get up to 120 in the next 2 to 3 months. But before I conclude that that's what's going to happen, we need to see this price action substantiating, confirming this potential bullish divergence that we're seeing in the market today. So I just want to do a quick video on the importance of bullish divergence. And there's a lot of people who just look at this and they just start buying it, start just assuming it. We need to see price action confirming. Once the price action starts to confirm, then we can conclude that bullish divergence, there's some weight on it, that and we can actually take that as a bullish signal, and we start to see that cultivation of higher lows and higher highs in the minor term. Then we can conclude that, hey, we might see some more bullish action coming in. I'll give you some follow-up video maybe next week or so. I'll do my market commentary video and look at S&P 500 again, Apple, and see if we see any kind of substantiation in the market. See if anything happened on the MACD next week or so, next week or two. And I'll do a follow-up video, so please stay with me or follow me on Twitter and StockTwits, and I'll make sure to give you guys video next few weeks and see where we're at after a few weeks or so. Have a great weekend. Again, enjoy Valentine's weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll talk to you guys in a week or two.